can control directly. We found a way to get that to zero. We did have to add back $250,000 projected savings because council didn't approve outsourcing of caretakers. So that brings us up to a 0.06% increase. Administration is asking for an add back of some priority items to the amount of about $1.5 million, but those are items that are within council's discretion and still within council's control, and council can decide whether or not to add any or all of those items back. The biggest pressure that we found is on the ABC side, the agencies, boards, and commissions. So it's about a $3 million increase in pressures, a lot of them coming from police. Police budget in terms of salaries alone, it's a little over $2 million in salary pressures at police. And then you have housing, social housing, about $637,000, solid waste going up $317,000, and then items like the Windsor Essex County Health Unit, which we're statutorily obliged to provide whatever amount the board approves. In this case, they received over an 8% increase from the province in funding this year, and they still came to us asking for a 2% increase, which amounts to about $54,000. So that kind of stuff puts pressure on, and you have no, certainly we have to operate within our budget, and if we were given an 8% increase in any given year, we wouldn't go to additional funders to ask for money. So those kind of things are frustrating and put pressure on the overall budget. And so on the capital side, it's worth noting that over $200 million of our $500 million capital spend over the next 5 years is going into roads and road-related projects. We're anticipating up to $1 million, maybe a little more in growth-related revenue, and we expect the education levy will likely decrease. And I guess the last thing, people were always, people have commented in the past and tried to say that holding the line on taxes has starved the capital budget, and roads we should increase taxes to put more money into roads. Well, the fact is, for the last 7 years when we've held the line, we've spent $26.5 million a year on roads. The 7 years prior to that, the spend was $10.5 million a year on roads. So we've still increased the spending while we've held the line on taxes. But to sum up this budget, the parts that we can directly control, we found a way to get to zero. But the additional pressures with police and housing and some of the others, there had to be a little pull on the release valve to let a little steam out to take care of some of these things. And because quite honestly, on the housing side, if you let things go, any of the big asset side, honestly, you let things go too long, then it costs you more money to fix it, and in the future. So it's possible to get to zero, depending on what the growth increase is and what the education decrease is. But at this point, I would call it the faint hope clause. It's going to be really tough to find $3 million, but we can get pretty darn close.